In many ways, the Doom Wheel is the worst kind of single-entity War Machine chariot in the game. Not that there's a lot of units in that class, but certainly the Chaos Dwarf War Machines are much better. And what is happening to that wheel? That... oh my god. Okay, anyway, I'm going to try and ignore that and be serious now. Yeah, this replay from the Gentle Rat, who is playing land battles with Caps. This is from my ladder. I do appreciate a bunch of members of the community jumping in, playing some battles. Warms my heart, certainly. And, of course, I will still be featuring regular land battle community replays. But the land battles with Caps is going to be my focus, at least for the time being. Just to try and promote my ladder, of course, on my Discord. If you haven't heard about it, I do have a Land Battles with Caps ladder on my Discord. Be sure to check out the link in the description down below to the server if you want to join in on the fun. Yeah, Gentle Rat here taking the Warlock Master. Him and Ikit Claw are really the only redeeming, not the only redeeming qualities, but they're the main thing that make the Doom Wheel viable because they're casters and they have really good spells, namely Flensing Ruin. Brass Orb is also pretty decent. I will say Ikit is just better than the Warlock Master in many ways, mostly because he has multiple shots from his Doom Wheel, which increases the DPS that it does significantly. But the Warlock Master is also pretty decent, fairly cheap. He's also got a Pack Master for healing all of these planned Molder monsters here. We've got 4 Rat Ogres, 3 Poison Wind Globes, and a Chieftain as well, front line of Skaven Slaves, and some Clan Rat Spears and Shields out on the flanks up against War Machine Free Empire. Yep, no land ships, no Luminarchs, no steam tanks, just good old-fashioned Steel, Faith, and Gunpowder. Boris up in the air. We've got Jade Wizard, we've got some Empire Knights way out on the flank here, some more here on the near side. Flagellants and Spearmen mixed with Hawkland Long Rifles, Halberdiers, and some Knights of the Black Rose to help hold the center with Sigmar's Sons. Flagellants are an interesting choice for sure. They can be decent. I've sort of badmouthed them a little bit lately. I don't know. But Flagellants, not the best, but they can be good DPS against certain types of targets. They can clear out chaff reasonably decent. Of course, Unbreakable makes them decent at holding certain circumstances, but they are very, very squishy. So, yeah, 46 melee attack with that Frenzy active. 30 plus weapon strength. You can see Boris, quick charge on the front line, trying to get a quick tear route. But the Skaven Slaves managed to hold their leadership long enough for the Rat Ogres, Chieftain, and so forth to respond. See Knights of the Black Rose also kind of interrupting the charge here of these Skaven Slaves, but they do open themselves up to these Poison Wind Globadiers. There'll be some pretty brutal point-blank volleys here into the Knights as they get engulfed by the Poison Wind effect. That said, they do manage to break those Skaven Slaves pretty quickly and then overrun. Nope. They're actually pulling back for the Poison Wind Globes, given the presence of the Rat Ogres. I don't know. I think they could probably hold the Rat Ogres in sustained combat there, especially with the support of those Flagellants. But Warlock Master comes through, decides to nope on out of there. Yeah, the wrong directional spinning wheel. That's amazing. Poison Wind Globes here getting focus fired by the Hawkland Long Rifles, but we do have some Wolf Rats coming in off the side. A beautiful Vanguard get here, getting on those Long Rifles and shutting them down very quickly. You can see the Spearmen. This is basically me playing the Empire right here. I mean, it's not me, but it's another wonderful community member. But that's definitely something I would do. Absolutely. Nice Flensing Ruin here in the center. Also going to hit all these Empire Knights. Hits the caster as well. That said, Boris is just running rampant here. Such a good choice against the Skaven. Blood Roar and the other one. I didn't actually take the other one. So the White Cloak of Ulrich gives speed and melee attack, but he does have Crush the Weak, which gives additional leadership penalties, which against units which are low in leadership. But even still, with just Blood Roar and White Cloak of Ulrich, you know, good debuffs, of course, healing and everything. So he can sustain combat. It's already got some nice tear routes here, seeing some of these Skaven units off the field, but Skaven, obviously, once they get their sort of second wave, right, you can see a lot of these units starting to come back from route. Empire is going to start to get maybe a little bit spread out in certain areas. These Empire Knights here getting isolated and just absolutely crushed by Globes and Rat Ogres. The Chieftain 1v1 with Boris is okay. It's not going to go great for the Chieftain, but he can hopefully hold for some time. A little bit RNG dependent, but in the meantime, Warlock Master, you know, doing some more AoE damage to these infantry here. We've got some Empire Knights trying to chase some routing units off. Great job there to try and make sure these units can't come back and contribute. But, yeah, Hawkland Long Rifles also coming back to contribute some more there. And we're going to see a Dwellers pulled up here. It is in the woods. And it is against some Skaven slaves here mostly, so not going to be the most value, but certainly will help clear out a lot of that chaff. Meanwhile, Sigmar's son's getting on those poison globes, trying to shut them down. So got a duel here. Boris moves in. He is 3v1 against these Skaven single entities, though, so this is not ideal. I mean, I say he's 3v1. He does have some supporting spears here attacking the back. Chieftain, and see, he isn't able to actually path fully into the fight. And it looks like he's, yeah, now around, but just when he gets, able to do attack animations, the Packmaster actually routes here. Even with the Scrying Stone giving him damage resistance and leadership, it's not enough to hold against the might of Boris. And, yeah, the Poison Wind Globes there. Getting some nice shots in. Packmaster recovers his leadership fairly quickly. He's regenerating quite nicely as well, so he can come back for, again, second wave here. And all the while, Boris is just trying to hold here in the forest with these halberdiers. Has not been able to get a lot of damage on the Warlock Master. He's been able to focus the other two Skaven single entities to a degree, but of course the Packmaster can come in and actually heal the Chieftain, right? Because he does count as a Clan Molder monster on that mount. Beautiful Flensing Ruin, and that's pretty much the backbreaker. Gentle Rat had already been taking a pretty good lead on value right there, but this Flensing Ruin here, especially, Boris is going to take a lot of damage, start to take some serious leadership damage. His infantry units are doing okay right now, but going to suffer pretty badly under these volleys here as they continue to just take magic damage. Rat Ogre's also chasing those flagellants here. We've got a few more Unbreakable Empire troops kind of running out into the distance, getting away from where they need to be isolated, but Boris, perhaps, if he can get back up in the air, can get up to his healing cap, turn around and maybe get some attacks in key places to try and turn this around, maybe get some terror routes on the Skaven themselves. Although right now, Skaven leadership looking pretty resilient. So, yeah, the Doom Wheel continuing to fire there. That point hasn't really come into play so far much. Both players just engaging straight up. And, yeah, you can see the Sigmar Sun's flagellants, like I said, as they get sort of strung out and isolated. They're going to get just picked apart for the most part. And Boris also here. He's getting some good damage on the Warlock Master, but with no more magic for Flensing Ruin, just want to throw down some Warp Lightnings there, keep contributing DPS wherever you can. You do see Earthblood from the Empire's side. I haven't really been paying attention, but that Lifecaster is still alive. About 600 HP left, took a bunch of damage, but unfortunately can't see the Winds of Magic for both players. Hopefully that's, improvement Creative Assembly can implement, but huge damage coming in on Boris. As he gets multiple hits from all these single entities. Doom Wheel charges in once more, and that's going to be victory for the Skaven. Fun one for sure. Big thanks to Gentle Rat and for Kirith, who has been queuing a bunch in the ladder. Yeah, I really appreciate anyone really at this point who's playing on the ladder. There's a lot of people playing also from the Alpha Central and from other places, so really so far response has been overwhelmingly positive, and I appreciate all your guys' efforts in that, and certainly a fun game for sure. I don't typically play Skaven a ton myself, occasionally, but it's nice to see them played with skill. Gentle Rat here definitely doing a great job with the Warlock Master. And again, the Flensing Ruin is really probably where a lot of this value comes from. I don't know, maybe the Doom Wheel did get some improvements that I didn't hear about. Maybe its mass calculations were changed perhaps, but I'd imagine most of that damage is coming from Flensing Ruin. That said, the other two Skaven single entities also pretty decent value on them. The Rat Ogres also not the best value, but they're essential here just as body blockers against Empire Cavalry. The Poison Wind Globes are still a force to be reckoned with, even after successive nerfs. They're still a powerful unit to have in your arsenal, and certainly one you need to be aware of. But, oh yeah, check out those Wolf Rats as well. 1,500, like 3x their value. That is just fantastic. Running down those Empire range units, it's definitely a mistake I make all too often, as you may have seen from my stream a couple days ago, is leaving my artillery and squishy ranged units isolated, where they can get run down by, like, cheap light cavalry. Some excellent value there. Yeah, on the Empire side here, Boris, again, love that pick, even if he didn't quite fully pay for himself here. Just, yeah, the Skaven, the one halberdier, like, almost, yeah, 3x their value as well, which is very impressive to see. It's interesting, a lot of people will maybe not discount their anti-large AP, like Kirillith certainly Kirith rather, has some tools, right? He's got the AP missiles, he's got Boris, and it's tough to know what Skaven will do. This is definitely more of a rush-oriented build from Gentle Rat, whereas some Skaven players might try and sit back and skirmish, so I don't hate the idea of the long rifles in that instance, but against more of a rush-focused build like this, they were going to be a little bit vulnerable, especially where he's using the cavalry aggressively to kind of break up that advance, which again, I don't necessarily disagree with, but yeah, maybe Knights of the Black Rose just stay in the back line and defend the Hawkman long rifles, perhaps. But an interesting build nonetheless. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button every time I upload a new video. You'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.